everyone. My name's Julie, and I'm doing a project on Tourette Syndrome. And I'd like for you all to meet my son, Matthew, who has Tourette Syndrome. Hi, Matthew.
Howdy.
Hi. I have some questions for you.
Okay.
All right. Can you tell us how old you are?
I'm 24 years old.
24. And can you tell us what it's like to be diagnosed with Tourette Syndrome?
Interesting. Well, when you're a kid, you don't really know what's going on. You just kind of look different, uh, antics, movements, weird things. But you get used to it, I guess. You grow up having it, so you kind of deal with it the best you can. Everyone's different, right? But it's very. At points you feel excluded, at points you feel okay. But it's part of me, so you just gotta grow with it and learn.
And what was it like when you met other people who had Tourette Syndrome, other children?
Weird. Um, Everyone had their own different capabilities and hardships that they had to go through. No story is really the same. When more severe than others, people have verbal tics where it affects them speaking to other people, where it's not only stuttering, but it's very loud or boisterous, or um, you know on rare occasions they may swear even more often than would be accepted in today's society. Um, but it was nice at the same time because you realized you weren't alone. Everybody was going, not everybody, but people were going through the same things you were, the same struggles. Having to grow up with it. Learn to accept it yourself, and know that you are different, but make sure it's turn a positive aspect on it.
And what aspects of Tourette Syndrome did you or do you find the most challenging?
When I was younger, I was speaking. Um, I stuttered quite a bit, getting caught up in my words. My brain was working too fast, and I'd forget what I was about to say and have to stop, or um, it's or not thinking about what I was saying beforehand and then blurting out whatever came to mind quickly enough, which wasn't always a smart thing to do. Got into a little bit of trouble. Not making for speaking, it's not knowing what to say in the right sentence or in the right time frame. So wrong timing. Um, Public speaking in school, when you had to do your speeches, that was the worst. Because it was, you're up there, you're gonna be, you're gonna be stuttering, and everyone's gonna be looking at you and focused on only you. So it gets you a little bit more nervous, which doesn't help the Tourette's. So it's definitely a challenge for me to kind of slow it down, but it's the stuttering and the odd glances you get that you have to work through.
And what other challenges did you face when you were in school?
Learning, um, math, could not get it, hated it. English, French, I was exempted from French in grade 5, I believe, or 6, because I had a hard enough time speaking English properly. So they said it's gonna be hard for me to learn a second language, and it was. Still don't get the language. Um, Math, it was the numbers, multiplying, division. Loved fractions and algebra. Time. I had a digital clock for years. Never got those numbers. Um, but yeah, the just the basic things for everybody else were twice as hard as for me to learn. Just staying focused in those particular classes was especially hard. Um, I was all over the place, couldn't stop moving. But yeah, staying focused on the task at hand and was very difficult.
Did you find that the teachers were understanding, or did they help you in any way or accommodate things, or was it something that had to be continuously monitored?
I think there's a bit of both. Um, there's a few teachers who understood what I was going through and did everything they could to help me. For example, for French, I'd go to a separate class and they'd help me with my math and English. Um, that I forget her name now,
McCann.
Miss McCann. She was very helpful. Completely understood. Worked with me every single day. Saw me every day. I was actually in high school, grade 10. I went back to elementary school and I just going through the school again, and I saw her and I thanked her for all the help she did. And because I right now in my opinion in high school I wouldn't have been where I was back in my normal class with my classmates. without her. She she worked really really hard, and she was very helpful and understanding with everything that I was going through. Um, some of the other teachers, they were accepting of it. They knew I had challenges. I had difficulties, but I don't think they really fully understood what it took to help me get to where I needed to go with certain subjects or just fitting in. Um, so it was a bit of both, really. There are certain people who they did get it. They understood what needs to be the help I needed, and there were others who were, I guess, ignorant would be a good word to use. They were ignorant to the point where they didn't really focus on me. Because they thought, okay, this guy's not going to get it no matter what I do, no matter how much I work on him, it's not going to help. So it's kind of an afterthought to them. Um, so it's a bit of both from in my school years.
And how do you think Tourette syndrome has affected your life overall?
It's been a challenge. Um, Building relationships and friendships was hard. Um, because I was different. I was very different. I was more of a later on in the years more of a physical taker, so I had a lot of body motions that kind of made me stand out in a crowd. Um, there's a few people who, yeah, like they accepted me perfectly fine, but for the most part, it was challenging. Being in a big group of people, or five or six, and me moving my arms or my neck, tapping my fingers quite often. Um, Eyes especially. My eyes used to always move and roll
What
in the
kind
back of my head.
what kind of tics did you have? Can you? I know you're not showing really many right now. However, what kind of tics could you show us some that you had that you remember doing?
The one of the more with my face, it was my eyes. I would always go like this. Um, my mouth, yeah, I would always go like that. So kind of stretching out the muscles. The best way I can describe it is your body has those muscles where they're the most tense. You use them more often, and so like when you're working out, you want to stretch out those muscles as much as possible. In my mind, from back then, I needed to release the tension in those muscles as often as 5-6 times a minute. It was a constant thing. I used to always do this with my hands, twirl them around, the wrists, um, shoulders. I'd put up like this, neck especially back and forth. Um, those are the more sort of the more violent ones. I used to always pound my stomach. I put my hand in like a form like that and just push on my stomach or hit it quite violently sometimes, actually to the point where it was actually physically hurting myself. Um, so they vary. They come and go. Every 3-4 months, sometimes days they'd come and then they'd go. Different ones would pop up. Stuttering has always been there though. You learn to control it. Speech camp, therapy, things like that. Teach you a few tricks on how to deal with it and function.
And what kinds of things did you do before or now to help you relax or to overcome some of the tension brought on by the tics?
Before, for me, when I was younger, it was always baseball. Um, the physical aspect of it, always having to run, move, even going up to the plate, I do the same three ticks in a row, kind of as a ritual. But the physical aspect of sports really helped because it was exerting all the energy that I would otherwise use or have to not focus or focus on other things. Um, so that I think being active really really helped. Reading. I used to read quite a bit. Sitting in a room, a darker room, and just reading, my mind could go elsewhere and trying to transform me into a whole other universe really. So I really liked the fantasy or the books where you're in a whole other realm. Not more in reality, but in a different space altogether. Um, Confined spaces I find really work too. I love sitting in my closet, sleeping there a couple times. My mom would walk in. Under the bed, just go around to the bed. Can't really move too much, so but it's nice dark. Um, yeah, guitar. Um, Played guitar quite a bit. Keeping me writing music, writing, songs, whatever it was, keeping my mind occupied really helped to kind of, drawing that helped as well through a lot. Um, you know, sketchbooks, some fun sketchbooks. Yes, things that kept your mind busy or focus on something else that, normally I would have time to focus on other things.
Do you feel that Tourette's has interfered with building relationships, both male and female?
Oh, big time. Um, One thing I used to do is lie a lot about stupid stuff, about a pudding cup. Did I have a pudding cup? I'd always say no, I didn't, but yes, I did because it's right on my bedside table. Clearly, I ate it. Um,
It's true. It's
yeah,
true he did.
yeah, but it's stupid things like that where my I knew it was wrong. I physically and mentally knew it was wrong, but because I just didn't think anything of it. Um, it definitely played a big part um, in my childhood. Those stupid lies, um, being being the way I was. Having Tourette's and the things that I did. I wasn't considered normal or accepted a lot. Used to get picked on quite a bit in school. Yeah, especially high school. First couple years of high school, get picked on a lot just because you have more and more kids coming to the school that either didn't go to elementary school with you, so they didn't really know or grow up with it. Um, so that they kind of saw a fresh light as to a person with Tourette's and how to live with it, how to even deal with it. There's especially gaining friends. You are the odd one out. The things you do aren't normal, and especially in that setting, you want to be as normal as possible. You want to be accepted, popular, um, just part of the group where you go to school and you have friends, a group of friends that accept you. But it definitely did hinder me quite a bit with just who I was at that point.
Did you feel that you were um, accepted or understood by your family?
Yeah, my family was very supportive. They may have not known as much as I hope they would have, knowing that a family member had Tourette's. My inner family, my parents, my brother and sister, they were very understanding. Cousins and aunts and uncles. I think they could have done a little bit of a better time. Even 10 minutes out of their day, reading something online or finding something out. Trying to understand what exactly I was going through, and not just thinking or judging me like, oh, my daughter's not doesn't do that, or why does he do that? Your son's not normal. It's I think they could have done it a better time. My cousin Ian actually, it was a couple months ago when I moved near him. He there was out of the blue. He's like, we were out having a drink or something. He said, "Remind me later on I have to apologize to you." And I go, "Okay." So later on that night, we were heading home, and I said, "So you remind me you have to apologize to me?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "So like when we were younger, I felt that we weren't as close as we could have been. I didn't really understand what you were going through, or I didn't really want to at that point, because you were a little different, and some of the things you did scared me. Some of your tics actually scared me, and to the point where I was scared of you. But he's like, I'm really glad that you've moved close to me. And I've been able to gain that relationship and that bond with you now because you have grown up and you have overcome so much that it's really nice to know and see how much you've changed over the years. Um, and that really hit me. That really made me feel good. Um, Somebody noticed it who how much effort it did take and how much effort it does take on a day-to-day basis to control what wants to come out. Just I won't let it. But that kind of hit me.
Nice. As what's the most positive thing for you that's come out of having Tourette's?
Confidence. You know, yeah, I was different before, but I have no problem going up to anybody. Doesn't matter who you are and starting a conversation with you. Um, it's even easier now that I'm able to control my tics a little bit more. But yeah, confidence is definitely probably the biggest thing where it doesn't affect me. Yeah, I know I am who I am. I accept it. I'm not going to change for anybody. Um, But yeah, confidence I think is the one of the biggest things that I have from it. I am who I am. I've accepted it, and I like who I am. Wouldn't change it for the world.
Wouldn't change it. Well, we like you too. I want to say, this is my son, and I love him very much. Always have, always will. Thanks for listening.